What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Maverick Raven coming at you with another one. And this is kind of a continuation on a video that I did yesterday, which was or was it yesterday or was it the day before? Eventually the videos just kind of all mashed together. But it was the video based on the veteran reporter Yuri, oh gosh, what was his name? I'm sure it'll be in the article. But they were basically saying that NPR has turned into nothing but a left wing bias factory. So now it's gotten kind of serious for NPR. So expect NPR to suffer under GOP administration. Republicans renew call to defund outlet amid bias scandal. House Majority Whip Emmer says NPR should forfeit taxpayer funding if it displays bias. You gotta agree with them. I mean, left wing or conservative, media. You don't want, if it's gonna have taxpayer money being added to it. You don't want it to have a bias. I mean, real talk. Before we get into this, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. It makes all the difference in the world for me, believe it or not. Anyways, let's get on to it, huh? Congressional Republicans said National Public Radio's NPR federal funding should be revisited after a senior editor at the publication penned a scathing review of its employees' partisan makeup. NPR has abandoned their own definition of diversity and inclusion with their one-sided reporting and blatantly biased newsroom. House Majority Whip Tom Emmer, the number three House Republican leader, told Fox News Digital. The choice should be simple: fulfill your obligation to provide accurate, balanced information to the American people, or forfeit taxpayer funding. I agree with that. Senator Mitt Romney also suggested NPR could face consequences for its purported bias under a potential future Trump administration. Don't trust that guy farther, any farther than I could throw him. I'll tell you that much. If you get a Republican administration, and that's increasingly likely, you can expect NPR to suffer if they don't show a lack of partisanship, and that's not where they are today. Doesn't make sense. Anyways, senior business editor Yuri Berliner, there he is, a 25-year veteran of NPR, recently shared damning allegations about his employer's viewpoint diversity and the effect it has had on coverage in a piece for the Free Press. Per Berliner, I found 87 registered Democrats working in editorial positions and zero Republicans. None. Describing his NPR office in Washington, D.C. That's crazy. It's added fuel to an already burning fire for the GOP, which has long accused NPR of acting with a liberal bias while receiving some federal funds. Senator Ted Cruz slammed NPR for behaving like a partisan propaganda institution. He added that taxpayer funding shouldn't go toward such a publication, excuse me. In a statement to Fox News Digital, a spokesperson for NPR said millions of Americans depend on their local public radio station for the fact-based, unbiased, public service journalism they need to stay informed about the world and about the news in their own communities. Federal funding is essential to making that happen. I would be more than fine pulling funding from NPR, added Rep. Andy Ogles, calling NPR's overwhelmingly Democratic staff a free market issue. It's true, man. Because if you've got this monopoly on a view, on a bias, on whatever you want to call it, then isn't it kind of like a free market issue? That kind of makes sense. You're not gonna get a Republican angle at all, not even a sentiment from NPR at the moment. I didn't know it was that bad, that it was 80 something Democrats and no Republicans. That's crazy. It says Republican Eric Burleson noted it makes you realize that independent news is dead somehow. Yeah, it is dead. It is dead. That's why more and more people are getting their news from people like me. People that just report on the stuff that's happening and are at least open about their biases. I make no type of game. I don't pretend to be a left wing, anything. I don't try to be objective. Well, I shouldn't say that. I try to be as objective as I can be, but I always try to add the fact that I'm conservative. So obviously that's gonna color my lens a little bit. But I make it open to you guys so you guys can know where I'm coming from. I don't want to deceive any of you guys. The Missouri Republican pointed to NBC News' recent hiring and subsequent firing of former Republican National Committee Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel. He noted that her termination was in response to employee backlash at the outlet. The people in my district, they see through all of that stuff, Burleson said. They know that they can't trust the mainstream media. No, you can't, dude. You really can't. You can't, you know? Always fact check everything and don't fact check it. Unfortunately, Snopes has been outed, as left wing as hell. Um, you gotta fact check your whatever your news is with several sources, and sometimes you even have to go to liberal sources or leftist sources to try to get an angle on the story that you normally wouldn't get. But if all you do is consume left wing media all day long, which is MSM, the mainstream media, and I have to laugh my ass off when people say, oh no, the majority of mainstream media is conservative. No, that's not true, man. That's bullshit. That's completely not true. Republican Conference Chairman John Barrasso told Fox News Digital in a statement taxpayer dollars shouldn't be abused to fund the partisan agenda. Liberal bias in national media is exactly why Americans' distrust of media is so high. The American people deserve news that is straightforward and factual. Agreed. I agree 100%. Asked if action will be taken in the legislature to address NPR's funding from the government, which is doled out through a nonprofit organization, Cruz said, I certainly hope so. That's funny. That's funny. NPR defended its journalism in a statement by its chief news executive, Edith Chapin, published in one of its own stories. We're proud to stand behind the exceptional work that our desks and shows do to cover a wide range of challenging stories, Chapin said. NPR did not immediately provide comment to Fox News Digital. Edith, you're full of shit. You're happy about the news because of course it's being pushed with your liberal agenda, with your leftist agenda, because not classical liberals are hard to find nowadays. But that's it, you guys. That's it. Tell me what you feel and what you think down below, man. I hate this, and at least it's getting exposed. All right, you guys, stay safe and stay based.